Hi friends, Tara Boston Kimber here, founder and clinical director of the Counseling Hub and practicing counselor in the state of Missouri. So, I had a special request for this video, and it's basically about belonging. So, this is kind of a foreign concept to me in some ways, in that I spend a lot of my life with people that I love, and people that bring out the best in me, and people that I choose to keep in my life because they're important to me in some ways, or that we have good relationships and it's a thing that feels good. And I forget that there's a lot of people who live in the world and they're surrounded by people who they don't necessarily like, or they stay in relationships that don't really feel good, or they have friends who don't really treat them nice, or that there's not a place where they necessarily feel safe to be themselves. And I think it's probably worth a video at the very least, if not multiple conversations, but we'll just start with the video. So whenever I talk about belonging in particular, I'm really talking about a sense of being yourself, so being authentic. I'm going to use that buzzword, right? Being really authentic and being yourself in many ways, like showing up fully with the people that you're around and also feeling accepted. So it's almost like finding your tribe, so to speak, or finding your niche, or finding your people. I think that Grey's Anatomy popularized that, like, you're my person, finding your person or finding your people. So you might be able to recognize this by, you leave a situation and you feel like your life has been enhanced in some way, even if it's a mundane conversation, or if it's like a conversation about your animals. You leave and it's like you feel enriched in some way. So that's probably a better way of saying it. So rather than your life being enhanced, which very well could be, it's really about feeling enriched by the encounter. It's that, I like to say soul enhancing more than anything, that it's with these people or with this person you might feel really at peace, and there's a high level of comfort. And that's usually a result of being yourself, of being able to just be who you are, not have to act in any specific way or feel like you have to act in any specific way. So I can say what it doesn't feel like is feeling like an imposter. So feeling like you're with a group of people and you're constantly on the edge of being exposed and being seen as lesser than or inferior. It can, that might be some of the feeling for you, and some of the experience might be, these are ways that you might not feel that level of belonging. That would be with people who you might be criticized by frequently, or who get really defensive with whatever it is that you say. It's like there's no way to win, so you're kind of walking on eggshells consistently. The funny thing is that in relationships you can have both. Like, you can have really great soul-enhancing, enriching, loving communication one minute, and then like you're walking on eggshells the next. That's a different video. That's not for right now. But if you're frequently around people and you feel like there is this level of walking on eggshells, or playing with fire, or like there's something that's, you're just like, like you keep missing each other, then that level of belonging, that feeling, that belongingness isn't necessarily there. So here's the thing. You can get it. And I think with relationships in particular, a lot of the work that we do is rebuilding trust and rebuilding like connection between two people, so that level of belonging shows up again. It's not something that just goes away and it's gone forever. But if you are, if you're not in a relationship, or that's not where you struggle, maybe it's just with family or with social groups or with friends or what have you, it might be that, you start thinking about, instead of thinking about how you're showing up with people, you might shift focus into, what are the things that I love doing? So if we assume that like attracts like, and that the, birds of a feather flock together, all that jazz, you can kind of shift into, okay, what are things, like if I was all on my own, what would I be doing with my time? And maybe it pops in your head, knitting. I would love to knit. What if you started knitting and then joined a knitting circle, and then all of a sudden these people are your people and you feel at home? I mean, that's a possibility. Like that's one way to try to find that feeling of belonging. So rather than thinking about what can I do for other people, you think about how would I want to spend my time if it was all my own, you know? Because yeah, we parse our time to people. You know, we give it to our partners, we give it to our family, we give it to our friends. But if you had just your time, what might you spend it doing? And in that way, you might try to expand that to try to include friends who'd be interested in those sorts of things, and you might get a deeper, maybe different level of connection with that person, where you feel some level of belonging. You know, other things you can do. So some of you might not even be aware of feeling like you belong. A lot of people, a lot of us, I mean, we are people, you know, we kind of go through life and just float through. You know, we just kind of go through without thinking about it. So one of the first things you might have to do, period, is reflect on whether or not you feel some semblance of belonging with the people you have in your life. So if you're there, then what you might do is reflect and think, okay, with this, whatever interaction you just had, maybe it's with your partner or partners, maybe it's with your family of origin, like mom, dad, siblings, mom, whoever. Maybe it's with your friends, whatever recent interaction you had with people. After you leave, you might think to yourself, did I feel at peace? Did I feel at home? Did I feel comfortable? Was I being myself? Was I feeling especially guarded? And depending on how you answer those questions might influence whether or not you seek out new people in your life in intentional ways. So the other caveat to this is that belonging is one aspect of our life, but there's many, many more. So for some people, it's especially hard to let your guard down, period. I mean, there's a lot of hurt, maybe a lot of betrayal, a lot of trauma, whatever it might be, or you're just prone to having your guard up. You might feel belonging in a slightly different way. Or that might be one other factor that we need to keep in mind as we're thinking about, like, I feel like I belong in this group, and you might think, was my guard up or down? Like, that can be a way that you start to judge whether or not you feel that level of belonging. So this whole video, you know, it's really about getting to know yourself and getting to know your own feelings and your own, like, around belonging and who you feel like you belong with. It's kind of like a self-exploration sort of thing. It's pretty awesome, actually. So I think that's it. I think I'm done for right now. Yeah, that's it. I was just thinking for a second. Other than that, I hope you have a fantastic day. Questions, comments, feedback, obviously leave below. Subscribe for more videos of the like. And if you are feeling especially inclined to reach out, you can reach me at Tara, T-A-R-A, at thecounselinghub.com. So have a fantastic day. I will see you later. Bye.